Alright, so in Chapter 1, Section 3, we're talking about lines and slopes. A couple problems in here that I thought would be worth checking out. Find the slope and y-intercept, if possible, of the equation of the line. So if we're looking at something like this, we'd solve for x, and so we'd get x equals 3/7. Now, if I graph something like that, what type of line do I get? If x is always 3/7, I should get a nice vertical line, right? So it's always 3/7. No matter what your y value is, x is always 3/7. And so then we have to think about what is the slope of a vertical line, rise over run. If the run, which is this way, is 0, I'd have some undefined slope. I always think of slope as treadmill. If I was on a treadmill, could I walk this? And the answer is no. If you had a y equals a number, if you're on a treadmill, that's a slope of 0. So when it's a vertical line, so an x equals 3/7, that's when we have an undefined slope. So again, you would solve this for x. On this one, doesn't look like it has a y-intercept, right? Since x is always 3/7, for a y-intercept, your x value has to be 0. So we don't have an x-intercept. Then on one of these, find the slope and y-intercept. We have to solve this equation for y. And so when you do that, you subtract the 2x over and divide by 5. So we get negative 2/5 x plus 1. And so let's go ahead and do that. Negative 2/5. The y-intercept on this one, since it's a plus 1, that means I have 0, 1 as my y-intercept, and then it says let's graph it. So we want to make a line. We'll start with a point. We know 0, 1's a point, and then we know we go up 2 and then over 5. So that should be our next point. Oh, it is a negative slope. This is a positive slope. I have mine going up, so that's wrong. So up to left 5 would be where that needs to be. So I have 0, 1 and the point negative 5, 3, because I went up 2 and over 5. And that is my line that I have. And so that should be good. And then they have find the slope of the line passing through a pair of points. An equation that we'll use is this equation. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so that's our change in y over change in x. So that's how we find slope between 2 points. Later on, we're asked to find the equation of a line, not just the slope, but the equation of the line. And so to do that, there's another formula that we have in here, and it's the point slope formula that we'll be using. There we go. And so here's the point slope formula. We have to find the slope first, but then we just use one of our points. It doesn't matter which one, an x1 or y1. So that's the formula you'd be looking for in that. Also talks about parallel and perpendicular in this section, and parallel lines have the same slope and perpendicular lines have the opposite reciprocal slope. So I believe there's some examples on the videos and WebAssign for that.